This is Bougie Farmer and Master Builder. Good morning. I have a lot of things to do this morning. It's Sunday morning, July 2nd, I believe. So yesterday we went to a farmer's market, a plant swap, and some other things, and I got some plants. So here are the plants that I got. I got an elephant ear, jalapeno plant, because my husband said we don't have any jalapenos, some mugwort, lemongrass, and I don't quite remember the name of this one, but it's in the family of the purple heart. So I'm going to plant that as well in the garden. The lemongrass I'm going to put in a pot or grow bag so that it doesn't spread everywhere throughout the garden. But that is what I'm going to be planting today. So I'm totally ready to transplant some of my haul from yesterday, and some one that I just hadn't gotten around to planting, which is my toothache plant. It's another medicinal herb. I'm still trying to decide how I want my medicinal garden to look. I know I'm going to put it on the steps where my seedlings are, but because I need to be able to bring them inside when the cold comes, but I still don't know. So I'm going to plant the mugwort first. I did some research and found out that mugwort can spread and grow out of control as a bush. So I decided I'm going to put it over here with my echinacea. Whatever I had in there with the echinacea has died. So we're going to do the mugwort in its place. And I'll walk you through step by step what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. The things I use to transplant are going to be some bone meal. This is my bone meal, my blood meal, and some earthworm castings. That'll ensure that my soil is healthy. This is not fresh soil, so it's soil that's been in here for probably about 2 years, probably. That's when I put this in there. This weed is growing on the side of the shed, and there's no need for me to have weeds on the side of the shed. So I pulled it since I'm over here, and the master builder will get over here and weed whack for me sometime soon. So I have some wood shavings in here, or mulch in here. I'm going to clear that out so that I have a fresh space to put my plant in. Anytime that you're adding fertilizer or putting in a plant, you want to clear out the mulch. You don't want the mulch underneath your soil, because it does decompose, but it can increase the nitrogen in the soil. So I don't want to do that. Clear out as much as I can. I'm not moving my echinacea, so I really don't have to clear out the mulch that's around the echinacea. But I'm going to give it a little bit of fertilizer since I'm over here, because I know I haven't done anything with this soil in a long time. This is a planter that gets neglected. Alright. So I cleared out the mulch. The mulch is all cleared out. I'm going to dig a hole for the mugwort, and I'm going to dig it the size of the planter. So this is the size of the planter. I'm going to plant it right here, close to the center, and I'm going to make sure the hole is that big. And I'm going to test it every little step of a couple of steps in to make sure that this complete planter fits in there, and then I'll take it out and add my blood meal, blood meal, bone meal, and earthworm castings. Sorry, I'm trying to get the back where I had it. All right. I'm going to reuse the soil. If it looks like it's totally dead, I will add fresh soil in it, but it can't be totally dead because the echinacea is thriving here. So the soil is pretty healthy, and I see some worms in here. So I know that the soil is being nurtured, has some great nutrients in it from the earthworms, and they eat the matter that's in there and give us good castings as a reward. It keeps the soil aerated, so that continues to make sure that we have healthy soil. I'm trying to avoid the worm. I don't want to cut the worm in half because we want to make sure that the worm stays in there. So I keep moving around it. I might have scooped it up because I don't see it anymore. Unless it buried deeper, but it couldn't have been that fast, so I must have scooped it up. But we're putting this dirt back, so it'll get back home. So you can see the planter fits in there in that hole. So I'm going to add some bone meal and blood meal and worm castings. Then I'll just mix that up a little bit in there. Try to spread it a little bit around so that it's all around the area I'm going to be planting the transplant in. So this soil is pretty loose, so you don't necessarily have to roll it around because it's really loose and it's probably not root bound. So here's my plant. I'm going to loosen up the roots just a little bit. The soil is pretty moist, so I don't want to do too much messing with it. So there, it's in the ground. And I'm going to backfill it with the soil that came from it. So I'm going to keep the soil that came with the plants. I'm not going to expose the roots with a root ball. I'm just going to keep that and then just backfill it with the soil that came out of the planter. And when I'm done transplanting all of my plants today, I will go back and water everything. These were in the pot that I put the soil in. So with this mugwort, you don't have to make sure that everything is above, like the root ball is above the the soil. So get that happy in there. Now I'm going to add a little fertilizer for the echinacea because it hasn't been fed in a while. I'm just using some cheapo expert gardeners. Most of my food that I eat is organic fertilizer, so I use what is it, comfrey and different types of fertilizer, organic fertilizers for that. But I had some of this left over, so I want to get rid of it and I don't want to waste it, so I'm going to put this on my herbs here. And it's just a 12-10-5 fertilizer. I'm not going to use a lot of it. Just a little bit around the roots of the echinacea. And then I'll water that in when I water the plant. I'm not putting any fertilizer around the wormwood, or the mugwort. And then I'll put the mulch back so that the soil maintains the moisture on top and doesn't lose too much. And I'll finally water it. And there's some dried, whatever I had in here before, dried up in there. I can leave it because it'll decompose and the worms will enjoy that. But there's plenty of stuff in there. I saw roots and stuff in there for them to enjoy and be happy with. Apparently they're happy they've been there for forever, I'm assuming. All right. One transplant in, couple more to go. The hubby wanted jalapenos. This is my red peppers, my crushed red peppers. So cayenne peppers, actually. Oh, look at that caterpillar. See, I didn't even spray the basil. I didn't think it was eating. Can you see that? I didn't think it was eating my basil. So I'm going to get some BT and spray my basil. Because now I'm looking at my basil. Poor little basil. Look at that. The whole piece is missing. Oh, my basil. I digress. So, this one I'm going to dig with the actual shovel because it's going underneath the cloth. So I may have to cut a hole in the cloth to get it into the ground because this bed isn't as deep as my other beds. So we'll have to do a little bit of extra work to get this one in the ground. But the cloth I'm not going to make it bigger than the hole bigger than the plant because I don't want any weeds to grow through there. I still have to fight with the grass, but I don't want any additional things trying to pop up there. As you can see, grass is creeping under, so I do have to weed over here. But the hay is doing a pretty good job of keeping it at bay for the most part, and it biodegrades, so I don't have to worry about the hay next year.
today because the other thing I want to transplant is my elephant ears, and I want to put that on the front porch in a bigger pot that I have to go to the big box store to get. So some things in my garden just, oh goodness, I got caught up. Some things in my garden just don't serve me, and this right now is not serving me. It is a tree that was a volunteer and something else that I had, and I nurtured it, and now I've been neglecting it. It's not doing what it's not serving any purpose. So I'm going to use this pot to put in my toothache plant. So I'm going to give me a minute, and I will set the camera up and we'll get started and transplant that into a pot.